Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing fine. So, this moment, I have found something so interesting that I would like us to share. And this matter of discussion today is going to touch on the mortality rate between men and women, the life expectancy between men and women, the reasons as to why you might find women living a bit longer as compared to men. Because if you move to so many homesteads, you will realize that we have got a lot of widows as compared to widowers. So today we are going to fish out the reason why there is increased number of widows as compared to widowers. So we know that death is a normal occurrence that every cell must undergo. Once a cell becomes old, it must undergo death. But we don't expect a cell to die when it is still young or when it is not old or worn out. So, what are some of the contributing factors that facilitate men to die fast as compared to women? We know very well that men are deemed to be providers, and men in most cases they chase factors of production to be stable and provide for their families. In the society, that society has set economic status which is supposed to be achieved by men. But the same society didn't provide the legitimate mean of achieving this economic status. So, in this state, men find themselves struggling. Men find themselves straining to achieve factors of production and at the same time to be there for their families. For example, if you look at the life of a man and the life of a woman, the life of a man is just difficult overall. Let's say a man gets out in the morning. When he comes back in the evening, he is expected to have something for the family. The family cannot understand the fact that maybe this man has failed to get something, but he must be in a position to provide for his family. Whether rain or shine, the man must be a provider. But if a woman in the same juncture wakes up in the morning, heads outside, there's nobody who's expecting her to come up with something for the family. So the woman does not have the pressure like the one which a man has. So this strain facilitates men getting subjected into stress, depression, and sometimes heart diseases. And when you are subjected into these conditions and you are not taken good care of as a man, you end up dying before your time. Men are really important part and parcel of the society. How are they supposed to be taken care of? They are supposed to be treated with love. They are supposed to be given peace, not trouble. And when they fail, they should not be labeled, because that is what facilitates these men to fall into depression, stress, and sometimes they are denied food. And this leads to early grave. Another contributing factor, family problems. You find this man, after having educated his kids, at the end, the woman that he got married to and called his wife and mother to his children abandons him, and he estranges these children from him. Children might be working, they might be stable, but they are not helping this man, forcing this man to remain alone. If you look at most men who are in their old age, you'll find a good number of men living alone. Not because they don't have children, not because they never had wives. They had wives. But when their women realize that their children have started attracting something in, they decided to turn against their father. And that is what has been happening, whether you believe it or not. So this man ends up living in solitude. He begins living in embarrassment, and as a result of that, men find themselves dying. Not that they never had it, but because they invested in the soil which wasn't productive. If a man in his old age does not get care, what do you expect? That man cannot live long. So, to curb this problem, I advise men, as young as you are, start thinking about your future. Start doing your investment. Make sure that you have social securities that are going to cater for your life, take good care of you when you will not have strength or energy to drive yourself. Don't squander what you have. Make sure that your money is being used on the right course. Beside taking care of your wife, beside taking your children to school, you have to keep this in mind, that your children or your wife might not be there with you in the future. How are you going to survive? And don't take your children to school with an intention that they are going to help you. They might also decide to turn against you, maybe after having been influenced by their mother. What are you going to do? Are you going to kill yourself because your children are not helping you? You are not. So you need to have a plan which is going to enable you live, which is going to enable you not have trouble when it becomes tight on your side. And this is what I want to tell men. Go where there is peace. If there is anything which is troubling you, it is better you abandon it. Your peace of mind is really very important than anything else. Women, protect your men. Make your men to have longer life expectancy. Take good care of them. Treat them the way you treated them when you first fall in love. Remember, you once told that man that you love him. Why should you abandon him towards the end? Why aren't you his source of peace? If he fails, why don't you accommodate him as your man? And if he doesn't make it, why don't you encourage him to continue working hard instead of castigating him? Men need space and environment where they can grow. Men need an environment where they can relax their mind and think on the next step. Men need women who are going to fight for them more than they can fight for their own life. Men need women who are not going to call them names and expose them to stress, but they need women who are going to call them sweet names. Sweet names which are going to make these men thinking better. Large percentage of men are dying, and we don't want men to continue dying. Huge number of men are getting involved in accidents trying to provide for their families. And when they come back home, they don't find peace. Be the source of peace for your man. Don't make your man's children to turn against him. Always make sure as a woman that there is peace in your home. There is great and perfect rapport between children and their dad. Don't make children to turn against their dad. Because no matter how a man looks like, he's still going to remain the father to those children. He's still going to remain your husband as a wife. Let's love men. Let's appreciate them. Let's support them. And let's always pray for them, because these men go through a lot. They are living in hardship. And in their effort to make things work, let's be their cushion, not their stone. Thank you. I hope this is so insightful and it's going to help somewhere. I wish you a nice time. Thank you.